just so. But I wonder if we couldn't have just tossed them all together, because a parachute wants to open.
Right.
You know, it's naturally, it's made to open. And yeah, they're very different. I've watched these kids. They don't pay any attention to what they're doing. And then they're so much more able to control themselves, flight-wise. You know, we were in the days where, you know, guys were developing techniques to track and stuff like that. Now these kids track like Superman. The guys that developed tracking was Lloyd Wright, D-12, and he was like Superman. I mean, the guy could literally fly. It was amazing to watch him go across the sky with smoke on. He'd just pass everybody up.
And that's with the belly warts.
Yeah,
On top of
amazing guy. He could do anything. And Arender was another one, could just fly like a bird. They had the knack. And watching their techniques and how they did it, I know Arender developed his techniques by watching people on high boards jumping off 3 meters and you know, kind of flying down to the water. And he developed his techniques by watching them and how they handle their bodies. And he was an amazing guy. He could really fly. And he was a skinny guy, so he didn't put up much air resistance. And then
if he wanted to go low, he had to make himself small.
Yeah. He's a character. He lived until a couple of years ago, and he smoked 3 packs of Camels right up to the end a day.
Yeah, a lot of the superstars that you knew back then, I mean, we know about the pioneers today because they're around, but how many of the great jumpers back then are no longer around through mistakes or what was it that dangerous? I mean, did we lose a lot of people back then, or was it amazingly safer than you think it was?
No, I think it's a very safe sport, even back then. You know, you had to have a real mental error to set yourself up for a fatality. Very few guys had complete total malfunctions on both chutes. Usually you can get one of them to get out and work before you get to the ground. I mean, it happens, but it wasn't a regular occurrence by any means. And
seems like the number of fatalities nowadays is about the same as it was back then.
I'm sure it is, and mostly for the same reasons. Carelessness, or they
getting used to it and
forget something, yeah. But it's fun to go out and watch them. They've got a pretty good jump thing going here. I can't think of the area. But I've been out there one time.
Here around Vegas here?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's fun to go out and watch them.
Well, I think we've got pretty much.
Unless you want to know about the board of directors.
Yeah, so let's go on about that a little bit and how it got started.
Board of directors evolved for a couple reasons. We needed more democracy. People had to feel like they had somebody they could talk to. And for the first year at least, they didn't have that. They moved in, you know, Russ Gumby kind of ran the thing, and it was his way or the highway. So they needed to have more democratic organization. And they had a lot of guys that were willing to, you know, offer their skills, like myself. And they found when they started looking around, they had enough to make a pretty good board.
So it was originally 20, is that what it was?
23, I think.
Okay.
And all experienced guys, you know, with 200 or 300 jumps. A lot of them had D licenses. The ones that didn't have D licenses had C licenses that were pretty low. And part of it was because FAA was starting to notice us, and so it was preemptive strike, basically.
Right.
Like I went out and talked to the FAA guy
Before they came and talked to you.
before they came and talked to us, and explained what we did, and, so he had an understanding as much as he wanted.
Right.
And because they're not looking to regulate anybody. They don't have to. That's what I found about the FAA. If they don't have to regulate, they don't want it. Especially when it's something they're not sure about, like gliders or skydiving or balloons.
Or now the ultralights.
Yeah, man, yeah. Even then, the ultralights. So it was kind of a natural progression of things, and it worked out well. We were elected. Everybody was elected. We had a
So each area, each region had their own electors, is that
Yeah.
how it worked? Okay.
they call it regions now. We called it conferences in those days.
Okay.
So I was a conference director for the mountain.
Oh, your rigging, you ended up doing a lot of rigging work?
Yeah, I folded my own chutes. Yeah, that's the only rigging I did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I folded my own chutes.
Okay, but you didn't do it professionally
No.
or set it?
Well, I have my rigger's license.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, I have a senior rigger's license.
Okay.
But I hate folding chutes. It's a lot of work.
Yeah. Like I say, why do birds sing? They don't have to
Right.
pack.
Yeah. And all the Army jumpers, practically all of them to a man are riggers. That's how they got into skydiving.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't want to be a rigger. It's the last thing in the world I wanted to be. So I avoided that at all costs, or I could have been active even long sooner than I was. But yeah, I was a rigger, and I'm a pilot, so I understand from the pilot's side of it what their concerns are, and I can talk just about any pilot off to take off his door.
Oh, really?
I've got all the arguments. I've got pictures. I've got testimony. I've got telephone numbers. I can go out and get a pilot. I can almost always get them to take off their door. And I think they don't even have to take off their door if I'm free fall.
Right.
I'll jump with the door on.
Which, yeah.
It's not a problem at all. But they don't realize that. They don't realize a plane can fly without a door.
I would think they'd think the air's going to come in and disrupt the flow around the
No.
wings.
But I guess that's about it.
Okay.
Wish you could think of something else.
I think we covered most of it.
And the board of directors, we actually met once a year, and everybody had a chance to meet each other.
When was the first year?
California.
Okay, was that
Monterey.
picture with the original examiners conference?
That was in Arizona, I think. Yeah.
That was the original meeting.
That was the original meeting of instructors. Yeah, like I said, that was the who's who of skydiving in 1960. If you're in that picture, then you're one of the who's who.
There are quite a few in there.
Yeah, I think 23 or 24. But that was the idea. They wanted to get everybody, together. So
How'd they get along? Was there personality issues, or did everybody pretty much get along well?
everybody got along. All quality people. No bullshit. Yeah.
That's what you like.
Yeah. It was fun to be with them. Fun to be part of them.
Very good.
Okay.
All right. Well, good. We got
Thank